they need to do something differently. We're going to have to see more Taysom Hill. And dare I say, maybe we got to see a little bit of Jameis Winston. Because right now, the Drew Brees that's playing quarterback for the New Orleans Saints isn't the Drew Brees that's going to be accepting that gold jacket in Canton.
Now, isn't that fascinating? That was RC yesterday. D. Wood here. And Louis Riddick joins us for the first time this morning. Louis, thank you as always. And you saw Louis up close on Monday night. You were there, of course, doing the game that has so many people talking. So what did you see firsthand, specifically from Brees? And what, if anything, did you gain from talking to the coaches about him?
What I saw was really a continuation, Greeny, of week one, which was a quarterback who's just not quite comfortable yet. A guy who obviously in week two was missing his number one target in Michael Thomas. And anytime you miss somebody like that, I mean, and you're not having that kind of production on the football field and his presence on the field, it's going to adversely affect you. But Drew just doesn't look comfortable in all situations yet to this point. He had a bad interception where he wasn't able to step up into the pocket and everything wasn't perfect for him. And I think that is probably the thing that is starting to come out a little bit now as you watch him play. Everything has to be perfect for him, in essence, for him to really drive the football and put it where he needs to put it. He can't throw it without having his base set. He can't throw it without stepping into it. And his accuracy then starts to suffer. So I think it's one of these deals where, look, Sean Payton's not going to sound the alarm bells yet. He talked to us about the fact that early on in the season, in the month of September, teams are really treating this as training camp because they have to treat it like training camp. But you just expected that this football team, given the fact that there's so much familiarity between the players and the coaching staff, would come out of the gates really humming, and they just haven't yet. So I think there's still more time to get it going, and getting Michael Thomas back will be a big part of getting this offense on track. But it's one of those things that where if these kind of performances continue to linger, the questions are going to continue to linger. And then everyone down in New Orleans is going to start going, has the end of the road, finally been reached as far as his career is concerned?
They play Green Bay this week, so that's obviously one of the most interesting games with Brees on one side and Rodgers on the other. And we heard Damien RC talking about a little more Taysom Hill. That's one thing. A little more Jameis Winston, who is the backup, would obviously mean a lot less Drew Brees. When, in your mind, would it be time that you would start considering making that change?
Well, listen, I think, Lewis hinted at it. This September is like an extended training camp right now. I don't think you make any rash moves in the first quarter of the season. But once we start getting into October, where everyone is settled in, there's no more excuses now. You play a month of football, and we're seeing the same type of things that we're seeing from Drew Brees that we're seeing right now. There's going to be whispers, Greeny, because guess what? All the players look at the same film. Mm-hmm. And as great as Drew Brees has been in his career, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame and all that, the big eye in the sky doesn't lie. So he can't threaten the whole football field anymore. He can't throw the ball down the field. Defenses know that. They're going to sit on all the short stuff. So at some point, if things don't get corrected, might have to start listening to those whispers.
Quickly, Lewis, Jameis Winston is the only backup quarterback in the NFL who threw for 5,000 yards last year. He's actually the only quarterback who threw for 5,000 yards last year. Any reason, under what circumstances do you think that we would get closer to that?
Well, if Drew got hurt, that's the only reason. I mean, they're not going to put him in there. They're just not. I mean, this is Drew Brees' football team, and honestly, look, there have been opportunities for them to push the ball down the field, but there have been other circumstances that haven't allowed it to happen. When you look at the tape, maybe there was a protection breakdown and Drew wasn't able to really locate the receiver, in a timely fashion. But Sean is calling those plays. He has the utmost confidence in Drew. And Drew is at the command and control center of this offense. And I think he'll work his way out of it. I don't see a scenario where they're going to pull him out of there and put Jameis in there. Because, this offense will get on track. They've had too much history of success. And I think this is just one of these things where they're going to have to work through the early part of the season in order to, and hopefully not rack up too many losses so they can get humming here once the second half of the season starts.
All right, so that's one of the most interesting games this coming weekend, as you have him on one side and Aaron Rodgers on the other. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.